I'm curious what my word was before, because I had clicked it and all I saw was an ad. And then I spin.
All right, do you want to try again?
No, I like my word. It's just so on the nose.
Okay. Well, and that's what's neat about that, is sometimes you get ones and you're just like, what? Okay. But anyway,
Yeah.
As a minor side note, before you say your word, if you're wanting to share it,
Okay.
When your kid comes up to you later and says, "Who's the weird guy making faces?" I make faces at your kids every time when they start looking at the screen.
Oh, they do? You do?
Yeah. Because she definitely was curious. And what is going on? So.
What? So, my word is...
Welcome to the 42 Podcast, where we discuss life together, looking for answers to life, the universe, and, well, everything else. Here are your hosts, Rob and Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay.
Hey, you doing, Rob? Welcome back to podcasting. New year, 2022.
2022. It's been a whole year since we talked.
Yeah, crazy.
Busy Christmas? Good Christmas?
It was busy, but it was good. The kids spent a couple days down at Mama and Pepe's house, and I had a few days to myself, which was, I can't even express how glorious it was. The baby was away from home for the first time. He's 2.5, and he did great. He did a good job, so it was good.
Good. So you had a moment to breathe. That's really good.
Yes. Yep.
Excellent.
How was your Christmas and New Year's?
It was good. It was a little bit chaotic, but it was still good. So, but that's ministry. Because we did the Christmas Eve services at church, and being in ministry, I was at both, and the families at both. We squeezed dinner in between, and dinner's always unique and fun on Christmas Eve. It's not a traditional family sit-down moment, but it's the time we find and carve out.
Yeah.
Which is always fun, but it's weird.
What'd you guys do? How do you do that?
It depends. Every year it's been a little bit different. In the past, the church has actually said, okay, we have enough staff who's here between services that we're going to do dinner together as a staff. And normally we sit in family groups and together and talk and interact and socialize and have a quick meal between services, but because of coronavirus, we haven't done that for 2 years.
Yeah.
Actually, last year we did all of our services pre-recorded, but this year we were back in person, and so Melinda came up with the idea of we were going to do lasagna ahead of time so we could take that with us and just reheat it, have it, and sitting in my office, we ate.
That's nice.
Yeah. But Christmas Eve, my memory kicks out somewhere in the middle of one of the services, and I pick back up driving down to Mom and Dad's with my memory where I'm like, oh yeah, I know we put gifts out. I know we unwrapped gifts. But there's like a blank spot right there. Just, it felt like running from thing to thing to thing.
Yeah, it's kind of stinky, but I guess it's just part of the job.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it. Although next year Christmas is on Sunday, and that's always weird.
Yeah, it's got to be really kind of stinky.
Yeah. We find ways to balance, but yeah, it can be. It can be really rough.
Yeah. Ugh.
But it was a good Christmas. It was. It was.
Did you get anything? Do you and Melinda exchange gifts?
We do. We do. Although we picked up on a pattern this year. We kind of keep teasing each other on it. But like last year, she wanted pots and pans. That's what she wanted for Christmas. Well, wait a minute. I'm the one who does most of the cooking and the baking in the house now. So she accessorized me with new pots and pans. Like 3 years ago, she wanted a bread maker. I'm the one who makes the bread.
So what's happening here, Rob? She said,
I don't know, but she wanted a vacuum this year, and I went, hey, wait, no!
So, dear Rob, I would like you to vacuum more. Dear Rob, I would like you to make bread.
Yeah, she's just accessorizing her husband. That's all that's going on.
Well, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So what did you get her?
I'm the Ken doll, apparently.
Did you get her anything?
Yeah, I got her a vacuum.
Oh, you got her a vacuum, and she got you?
She got me it's upstairs. I needed a new wallet.
I love wallets.
So she got me a new wallet, but she found a company that does laser printing on them. So it's a new wallet, but there's a family photo that's laser etched on the front of the wallet.
Oh, cool. It's
really cool. She got that for me, and then...
Is it Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting at the end of the... that scene?
That'll be my son and I when we do Disney this year. But no, she also then got me, because of my knee injuries, bad knees, she got me this compression leg massager, which makes me feel like an old guy. But then at the same time, my knees haven't been bothering me as much in the past week.
It's good.
So, what did your husband get you?
He got me a lot of... He bought me a gift a couple months ago that was technically for Christmas. He got me my new headphones. But then he got me a Star Wars duvet.
Ooh.
Yes, and it's like 2 TIE fighters flying. And it's very dorky and very warm. So he got me nice Star Wars stuff. And then I got him that new game, Deathloop.
Oh, yeah.
He's been enjoying it. He says it's really good. So.
Oh, good.
Yep.
I'll have to pick his brain on his review for that.
That'd be a cool episode to redo is video games that are coming up. I love talking about new up-and-coming video games because it's fun to dream and hope that they're going to be everything you want them to be.
So I'm a side nerding. I'm a big Halo fan. And they just released the new Halo game, and my son and I have been playing that and nerding out on that and, comparing notes and quests and yeah.
He said he likes it. He's been playing it too. He was showing me the cool new tricks you can do.
Oh, in Halo?
Yeah, that you don't feel like so much of a tank anymore.
Yeah, you feel like a tank flying through the air. At least that's how I describe it. Where I'm like, boom, Master Chief!
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm total nerd on that game. Anyway, alright. So, good Christmas. I missed talking to you, but it was also good to have that time off.
It was. Yep.
Yeah.
I do enjoy podcasting with you as well, but it was nice to have no editing and nothing to do. No editing, no conversations, just a little bit of breathing room. Yeah.
Now, I want to do 2 different things that we've never done before. Okay? And this first one might become a thing that we do once a month, once a week, whatever. We'll see how it works out.
Okay.
And the other one, I think it would be good to do once a year. We already do it once a year. I'm inviting you into this, and I'll explain that one in a minute. But alright. New thing that might be a once a week or once a month or whenever we feel like it. Mm-hmm. Shower thoughts.
Thoughts we have while we're in the shower?
There you go.
Okay.
Is that not like a moment where you're like deeply introspective and have the best ideas, and then as soon as you get out of the shower, they're gone?
Oh yeah, that's where I do my best praying. I pray in the shower.
Oh, I don't do that. I'll admit that one.
Yeah.
Although, another podcaster that I listen to and interact with, he was talking about, probably joking to some small degree, but joking about wanting to read his Bible in the shower. And so I sent him a link to a waterproof Bible that I now take with me camping after I ruined one with it on a youth group camping trip.
Oh, cool.
So, if you want to read the Bible in the shower, I got a link for you, and they're pretty good. They survive me and camping trips.
Well, that's cool. Is it really thick? Like, is it a thick Bible?
No, standard size Bible. And it's waterproof.
What does it feel like when you turn the pages? Does it make a squeaky
sound? It feels
sound?
a little plasticky.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good Bible. All right, anyway, shower thoughts with Rob. Passing fleeting thought, but it was just thinking through politics and the philosophy of democracy being everyone has a representation, everyone has an idea that they can bring, and in democracy the idea is that we debate the ideas, we find the best, we find the worst, parse them out as a group, as people, and then, what's best for all. That's what we seek. But I was thinking about that this week, and I was going, ooh, we haven't been in a place of finding the best ideas. What we keep doing is we keep debating on who is the worst ideas and why we should be afraid of them as the worst idea.
Yeah.
We've cheapened what is the process.
Yeah.
Shower thoughts with me. There we go.
Noted. Now I gotta start keeping a pen and paper in my shower. Or near the shower.
I have told Melinda that if we ever get like ridiculously stupid Powerball winning lottery rich,
yeah,
and we build our dream house, it's really awkward, but I'm building an office in a huge walk-in shower. Just gonna figure out how to do that. I'm gonna have an office in the shower.
Well,
that's where I do all my best thinking.
That's cool.
All right. Weirdness with me over. Do you have your phone?
I do.
Great. I sent you a thingy.
Yes.
Did you get that thingy?
Yes.
Excellent. Have you ever heard of Star words? There we go.
No.
Okay. Epiphany words.
Nope.
Okay. Oh no. I left it upstairs. Hang on one second.
Okay.
Yep. I forgot something up here. Okay.
You're back.
I'm back. And look.
Oh, cute. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. All right. So Epiphany words.
Epiphany words. Eureka!
Oh, did you do it already?
No, it's just that's an epiphany word.
Oh, okay. All right. Epiphany words is something we started doing at the church I'm at now. The pastor came up with the idea, or got the idea. I don't know where she got it from, but we started doing it 6-7 years ago, however long ago.
Okay.
And it's a neat idea where on Epiphany, every year, the congregation is invited to take a random word out of a basket.
Okay.
And then sit with that word for a year and see what they get from it.
Huh.
Just a point of intrigue into highlighting pieces of what this year means for you. All right? So we've done that every year for a while. We didn't do it this year, but I wanted to still do it for me and Mel and the kids. So we did, as a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do that with you as well. And I'll post the link to what we're going to use. So if anyone else would like to do this as well, they're welcome to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a neat thing to have and just see if that word pops up more in the year. So like last year, I'll show you the ones from last year that I got. And because we did 2 services, I wound up with 2 cards. But it's embrace and welcome. And it's always interesting because, I don't know, it always feels like the words help frame the year in some way. Finding new ways to view what's going on around us.
That's interesting. I've heard of that before. My friend picks a word of the year. You know, she has a word going into the year that she has sort of distilled down of her goal for the year or where she wants to be throughout the year. I think that's pretty cool. That's kind of similar to what you're saying.
Yeah. But I like the randomness that we use in the church. There's kind of that element of you don't know and you're trusting in a grander plan.
Yeah.
And there have been years where it's, ooh, wow, that's been really dead on. Like Melinda's word for last year was dead on for what this past year has been for her.
Oh, yeah.
I won't share it. It's her word to share, not mine. You know, and that's what's been neat about it. Sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it's just something that's neat to walk with. So, would you like to do this with me?
Sure.
All right. Are you... Now, I kind of have a rule to it of you don't have to share your word unless you want to.
Okay.
If you would like to, you are welcome to. I'm going to share mine. I'll share the one I got with my family and then the one I get now with you.
Okay.
So, but when you're ready, just click the spinny pinwheel of wordiness.
It didn't pick me a name. Hold on.
It didn't pick you one?
No, it gave me an ad. Hold on.
Look at the top of the ad.
It
Let
says...
me see your phone screen.
Oh, I see.
Kid alert!
I'm curious what my word was before, because I had clicked it and all I saw was an ad. And then I spin...
All right, do you want to try again?
No, I like my word. It's just so on the nose.
Okay. Well, and that's what's neat about that, is sometimes you get ones and you're just like, what? Okay. But anyway,
Yeah.
As a minor side note, before you say your word, if you're wanting to share it,
Okay.
When your kid comes up to you later and says, who's the weird guy making faces? I make faces at your kids every time when they start looking at the screen.
Oh, they do? You do?
Yeah. Because she definitely was curious. And what is going on? So...
What? So, my word is motivation. Which is, I mean, it is January 2nd, so obviously I have some goals for the year. And so it's a good one.
and you feel like that's a good fitting word for you for this year?
Yeah, I need some motivation. I need to keep my motivation, and I want to be locked in to my, my headspace. Like, there's a certain headspace that I can be in sometimes, and I'm unstoppable. But I don't really know how to get in that headspace sometimes. So, this is actually what I've been journaling about. I have I kind of write at God, because it's easier than speaking sometimes. And that's one of the things is, like, I want to change. I want to keep going in my physical health, my mental health, my spirituality, how I parent. There's I've got so many plates in the air, and I feel like I need help in all of them. All of them need aggressive help. So asking God, how do I get motivated and stay motivated to do what I need to do, to do what needs doing.
That's actually exciting that fits to where some of your headspace is, and yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
what's yours?
So the word I got for the podcast with you and I was excitement.
Hey, that's cool.
That's different, but yeah. Because there are times where, I will say this, there are times when I've listened to the podcast and I've listened to me and I'm like, yeah, I need like a cattle prod or something when I start going like, oh, the world is on fire. Bleh. I don't know. Maybe I need to be a little more hyper squirrel excitement in the podcast.
And that's interesting.
The word I got with my family earlier was empathy. Yeah.
We could all use some of that.
Well, yeah. And what I'll do is I'll post a link to the blog that explains Star words or empathy words. Or, not empathy. Epiphany words. So there will be a link to that, and you can find the word generator in the blog that you spin, and it pops up with an advertisement, but the very top is the word.
Cool.
I don't know. I think it gives us something, though, to next year and season 3. Just look back and say, so did this word have anything to our year?
Yeah. Cool.
Which I think you have actually accidentally stumbled us into a...
I stumbled us?
Yeah, I think you stumbled us headlong into what is an excellent discussion and theme that'll be an undercurrent to some degree for the year, and we can be a little more overt, I think, in our discussions, and maybe this is where I've been a little too precautious, and maybe that's an error on my part, but we're both in a position of being Christians. I'm in ministry.
Yep.
You are exploring Christianity with this whole new vigor and zeal and excitement coming off of what was a long dark period.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying doing that with you. And I think that's maybe what you stumbled us into with your book choice. You want to share your book choice since it was definitely yours?
Yeah. So the book that I picked is called The Dark Night of the Soul. A psychiatrist explores the connection between darkness and spiritual growth. It's by Gerald G. May. I picked the book because I listened to this podcast series about your stages of ways of understanding your discipleship or apprenticeship with Jesus. And one of the episodes was about the Dark Night of the Soul, which was kind of a segment of another podcast episode called The Critical Journey, and they kind of took the Dark Night of the Soul, which is one piece of it, and sort of expounded on it for like 2 episodes. And I thought it was really interesting because it really describes what I've been going through for years. And so I wanted to learn more about it. It's very exciting to read about it, to have read about it, and know that I'm not crazy, that the pain is for a reason, the agony is for a reason, and a really good reason. So that's kind of why I picked it, because it's something I wanted to read about anyway, and I just used our platform to get credit for it, essentially.
So I actually got a chance to read this before you, which actually made me a little bit excited to read and finish it before you did. Because you do that pesky thing where you're like, oh, hey, we're going to do a book for book club. And, a week later, you've had it read and you're sending me all your notes on the book and thoughts. And this time around, I beat you to it, which excited me.
Oh, good.
But it was actually one of those books that once I started it, I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of profound perspective that he puts into the book. And there are points of it that I disagree with, but I disagree with it because, I always feel like saying this, there's a degree of arrogance, but I am a theologian. Not quite, but, theology is my wheelhouse, and he uses some of the language of theology.
Yeah.
And then he uses the language of psychiatry. And it's a good marriage, but it's a weird marriage of the two concepts. And some of the things he stumbles in with the theology of it, I don't agree with.
Yeah. Because
I think he's got more of a universalistic tilt.
At the end, it certainly seemed that way, and that's where he lost me too.
And I struggle with that, but I also have to confess that I don't see the ideas of universalism in Scripture. But I also hope to God that in some way, somehow, there's just one more chance for all people. Just one more.
Yeah.
I don't see it, but certainly my hope is that he's got a way, he's got a plan, he's got a system.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, Jesus lays it out very clearly. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. And so I do hope that, here's the door, here's the way, but Jesus is there to embrace all people.
Yeah. The way I process this is, in a way, it is universal in this. The purpose of everybody, the purpose of humanity, on page 48, obviously I don't know what copy book you have, but on page 48 in my copy, I'll give you a second if you want.
No, go ahead. Keep reading. I'll get there.
It says, if the purpose of our existence is to seek and find God, then there is a seed of desire in each of us, a fundamental motivation, a basic longing for the fulfillment of that purpose. Again, with St. Augustine, John and Teresa would both affirm that thou hast made us for thyself, and our hearts are restless until they rest in thee. According to this theology, we are not only born with God at our center, but we are also born with a heart full of desire for God. This yearning is our fundamental motive force. It is the human spirit. It is the energy behind everything we, meaning humans, seek and aspire to. And if indeed we are in intimate union with God in the center, then the soul's desire is God's desire. So, holy smokes, that is in every human. And so in that sense, it is universal. We are all born with something in us that longs for at least the things of God. Justice, truth, purpose, love, peace. We long for all of that. Everybody on this whole planet wants that. What we don't realize is what we're really longing for is summarized in God. So, I don't know, like at the end he tries to apply this Dark Knight thing to social structures and like corporate entities, and I wasn't so sure if I followed that, but I loved the first 3/4 of the book, because this is that longing, this is that agony of soul, that searching and hunger that I've felt all my life. This is what that is. And it's in me, and it's in you, and it's in my sister, and it's in everybody, and that is extremely exciting, because that's where it just gives me hope.
And that's what's interesting in being in ministry, and I don't always do this well, and it's actually even interesting in why I have empathy as my word of the year. And this is all of an hour long that I'm sitting with that word empathy, but it's finding that divine spark. If I truly hold that God created mankind in his image, then there is that spark of divinity within us, that spark that is God. And then it's finding that, and it's allowing that to grow from a spark to an ember to a flame.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's a little bit metaphorical, and I get it. Metaphors always break down, but sometimes you don't find that spark unless someone is in the midst of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And being with someone in darkness is not comfortable. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel okay, because it means that they want to attack. They want to cling. They want to run. They want to be...
Yep. So raw.
Yeah.
So raw.
Yeah. And that's a lot of what he kind of walks through at different points, and what I really appreciated. And I can only speak to my experiences. And there are moments, there is actually a very literal dark night of the soul that I've experienced. And we've talked a little bit about this in the podcast before. But have you experienced what was a depth of darkness?
Yeah. But it's been a long time. It's been something that I think I've been in or around since just after... Oh, darn. You know what I mean. Edit here.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Sorry.
The young adult program.
Yeah, the young adult program. And it's just, it was like, it's another way to look at the dark night of the soul is the wall, where you're on this journey towards something, towards Jesus, and towards, you're on this journey, and there's this wall, and you can't go around it. All you can do is just sort of bash your head against it. And I feel like I've been at that wall for years.
I know. I don't know if you remember this, but early on in the podcast, I kept saying how you built a wall of religion.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it's not this static wall. It's this beautiful journey on a river that is changing with twists and turns. You hated me for that analogy.
Yeah.
You were so mad at different points. Every time I was like, it's a wall of religion. You're like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Sorry. Apparently you went demon voice on me a few times, I guess. I don't know.
I'm sure I did. I did.
But no, that is a beautiful analogy, though. That, again, you're getting, where it's you run into this wall, you run into this dark pit, you run into this moment where everything, it's like everything stops, but it doesn't.
Yeah. And I remember even thinking, knowing, and I've always known, even throughout this whole thing, which it's been more than 10 years. It's been a long time. Thinking, like when I was dating Colby, when I first started, like my first date with him, I wasn't doing great with my relationship with God at all. But I knew eventually I'd come around again, so I was asking him questions about his theology to make sure, because I knew eventually I would care again, and I just wanted to kind of see where we were. And I felt that way before, I felt like I'm in this hole of filthy mud and things that I struggle with, temptations and all kinds of crap, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get out of the hole. And I think that's just another way of expressing that.
Look, I gotta speak to your husband real quick here. Colby, if you're listening, I would nominate you for sainthood, but neither of us is Catholic. And I'm pretty sure if I nominate you for sainthood, you have to be celibate. But you are deserving of being a saint, Colby. Just gonna put that out there.
Not sure how I feel about that, Robert, but okay.
Hey, I gotta say, for every story you tell me involving
yes.
Colby and your journey,
yeah,
he deserves to be a saint.
He does.
Yeah. I look forward to the day when we can all be together and I can actually meet him and shake his hand and be impressed with the magnitude of his beard in person.
In person. He might let you touch it.
Even if he doesn't, I might still be like, hello.
Yeah.
Just gonna cut this here and paste it here. Colby for not flinching in that. Colby for journeying through this with you. I mean, that's phenomenal, because he has to have had dark nights because of this. You've had dark nights because of this. Melinda and I, in our own journeys, post young adult ministry, and, we're coming up on 14 years.
Mm.
There's 14 years of dense dings and hard, dark moments for us in ministry. I shared how it's almost 8 years ago now. How almost 8 years ago I was just about ready to walk away from the church, from ministry. I got to the point where I took the first step to, and the next thing I know, my knees bent at the wrong angle.
Yeah.
And I spent a dark night in pain, yelling at God. But going through that, things are different. And I don't look at that moment and go, yay, this was wonderful. But I wouldn't trade that moment in, because it helped draw a piece out. Mm-hmm. It helped find that spark that needed to be lit. And I guess that's where I sit with all of this, with what is the Dark Night of the Soul, where he's going with this book. is that the church doesn't do well with this often.
Yeah.
We look at people who are going through hard moments. And again, if I can ask you, if you feel comfortable with it, but in the moments that you were being challenged and then subsequently challenging the church, did you ever have someone in the church look at you and say, God will never give you more than you can handle, and then walk away?
No.
You never had that.
No, I don't think I was very talkative at that time. Like, one part of the reason I didn't really make very strong connections in the last 10 years. I struggled in silence. I was in agony all on my all on my own. But that's
okay. Sorry, I've heard that so many times that to me it's a joke.
Yeah, it's also
when
not
people are like, God,
scriptural, I don't think.
Yes.
It is?
Yeah. It's now it's not exactly in how it's quoted, but the gist of it is there. Where's my version? Let me get my version. Hang on. I skipped it. There it is. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. 1 Corinthians 10:13. And that was English Standard. But how we do that so often is, oh, you're in a dark place. Not temptation, just a dark place. God will never give you more than you can handle.
I'm pretty sure he does that all the time. Because I think otherwise it wouldn't really cost you. If it was something you could handle, then, like, what's the big deal? You can handle it.
But it's being pushed to the edge of what you can handle. And in that, and he talks about that in the book as well, where it's, as you find yourself going deeper into the darkness, I don't even remember what chapter that was in. Anyway, the concept he talks about in the book is that as you go deeper into that darkness, into that dark night, what you find is that all of the other means of managing, coping, dealing with are stripped away because you find that they're useless.
Yes.
And what you start leaning into more is God.
Yes.
And the harder you press into God, the harder he presses into you, and the more light is then revealed. Speaking a little allegorical, but...
So I think something that's interesting that we need to point out, because he points it out a couple times in the book, is darkness doesn't mean tragedy or agony or suffering all by itself. What the darkness is literal not knowing, like not being able to see in front of your eyeballs, like not being able to see, not understanding. That's more what it's talking about. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying I think it's important to point out that you don't have to have just lost a child to be going through a dark night of the soul.
Right. And he also prefaces that, we have night and day. We have these cycles, but naturally we seem to fear the night and embrace the day.
Yeah.
But God is the Lord of both night and day.
Yes.
It was pretty early in the book that he brings that. And again, that's part of what I've found and embraced in my own, and I'm not like, yay, I want to go through hard times because hard times are fun. That's not what I want. But what I find is that when I encounter a hard time, even if I don't see it at the moment, I can look back and I can go and see, oh, that's where God had me.
Yeah. Page 26-ish. So I guess we gotta kind of say here that The Dark Night of the Soul is based on a poem written by St. John of the Cross. And his...
Spanish saint.
Yeah. And his spiritual mentor was this woman named Teresa of Avalon. Or Avila or something. So these two wrote together back and forth about this dark night of the soul. So when I talk about Teresa or John, who we're talking about are these monks and a nun that were from way back then. Page 25. In Teresa's experience thus far, we can see some of the fundamental characteristics of the dark night of the soul. I will explain these farther as we proceed. But here we can note that during many of her long struggles, Teresa was confused about what was happening. She did not trust her inner sense of prayer, believing it could as well be coming from the devil as from God. To use another word, things were obscure. This is the root meaning of the Spanish word oscura, meaning translated as dark, as in noche oscura, dark night. As in the dark of a real night, Teresa could not see clearly. At the same time, she was very attached to the opinions of others, her friends, as well as her counselors. Not knowing whom to believe only compounded her confusion. Hello, I 100% identify with that. 100%. Being on my face in front of trying to pray and being like, I don't even know if this is right. I don't know I don't trust my thoughts. I don't trust my intelligence. I don't know if the people around me know what they're talking about. I can't trust my heart. It's like, I get that. I totally get that. Sorry. So, I can't find the spot, but I thought it was a really good way of explaining this. You've had a baby, you've had newborns in your house, so you know that when babies are little and they're happy, everybody knows they're happy because they're sleeping and just content. And when they are hungry, they get fed. Mommy and daddy jump to answer their every whim right away. They make a sound, we're there to feed them. They make a sound, we're there to hold them. And their existence is one of pleasure and avoiding pain or discomfort. That's what it's all about. And in the New Testament, new Christians are described as babies. And I don't think that's a negative thing. I think that's just a fact. That when you're a new believer, you crave the good things of God. And He, for the most part, I think, is quick to give you, pleasure from Christian company, pleasure from reading your Bible, pleasure from being in worship or in the spirit, whatever kind of gets you spiritually. I think pleasure is very much associated, if you understand what I mean, with being a new Christian, right? You're easily motivated. But as you go on in your Christian walk, at some point, maturity means, just like a baby, when the baby is a year old now, if the baby cries, you don't jump up necessarily because now it's time for the baby to be weaned. Does the baby understand that it's good for them to be weaned? No. The baby's irate and furious and maybe a little scared and confused. And I think as we grow older in the faith, the things that brought us pleasure, like from worship, from our times in prayer, from our Christian friends, from older believers in the Lord, I think that dries up because we've been so pleasure-centered with God. It's about what He can do for us. Even though it's good things, it's not like bad things. So I think that's part of what God wants to do with the dark night of the soul, is bring us from being very pleasure-oriented with God and be much more relational with God. It's coming from a deeper place. It's not about pleasure, it's about relationship, and I don't know.
All right. I want to reinforce what you've just said.
Okay.
Because you just laid out a beautiful piece of what you have walked through in the past year. And even going back decades in your life.
Yeah.
And I just want to reinforce it with this. But I, brothers, could not address you as spiritual people, but as people of the flesh, as infants in Christ. I fed you with milk, not solid food, for you were not ready for it. And even now, you are not ready. For you are still of the flesh. For while there is jealousy and strife among you, you are not of the flesh and behaving only behaving in a human way. For when one says, I follow Paul, and another says, I follow Apollos, are you not being merely human? For then What then is Apollos? What is Paul? Servants through whom you believed as the Lord assigned to each. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. So neither he who plants nor he who waters is anything, but only God who gives the growth. He who plants and he who waters are one, and each will receive his wages according to his labor. For we are God's fellow workers. You are God's field. God is building. According to the grace of God given to me, like a skilled master builder, I laid a foundation, and someone else is building upon it. Let each one take care how he builds upon it. For no one can lay a foundation other than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. I'll leave that there, but Paul goes on and lays out more. And that's 1 Corinthians 3, and I read 1 to 11. I read that in English Standard. Sorry for where I stumbled. But that's it.
Yeah.
We start with that foundation. We start as that infant where it's very simple. It's very almost binary.
Yeah. Yeah.
On, off. But a journey with Christ is not binary. There are aspects of it that, yes, are. You are either in God's graces or you are out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the direction we're all moving, is towards that being in God's grace, and how we get there is different. But the point of it is Christ is at the center of it. Christ is the one who draws us together. And he does so in a way that is balanced.
Yeah.
I think you were dead on with what you were saying, because that's it. And you have to experience those dark nights. You have to experience those hardships, because they act as a refining process. They allow you to experience, to affirm, to have a greater security that is more than a single person.
Yeah. Yep. He's being a good daddy and helping us see, like, do you love me, or do you just like it when I take you to McDonald's and let you jump in the bouncy house? Or do you love me? Do you just want to spend time with me, even if you don't feel that I'm there?
One of my favorite summaries of this, and it's a little tongue-in-cheek and very kind of, well, I'll just say it. Do you love me because I'm God, or do you love me because I'm the magic space wizard you pray to and you think that I'm just going to be like, bling, here you go?
Yeah, yeah.
Is he God, or is he magic space wizard?
Mr. Wizard. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, because your eyes are kind of rolling around in your head, that Benadryl seems to be really making you a bit loopy recently. No, maybe?
It's not too bad. I'm just trying to think of if I want to get into other points or not, or where you're going to go. That's all. I'm just wondering what you're...
Well, I think, and I kind of said this before you and I turned mics on, starting this year with this book, I think we're going to be talking about it and returning to it a couple times.
Yeah.
Not because, we're in the midst of a dark night, but I think it gives us a good pacing and pattern for where we're going. And I told you, when season 2 hit, we were going to have that, we're going to do like every month it'll be this episode, that episode, da-da-da-da-da. We're, 2 months out from season 2, and we haven't done that. So I'm giving up on that. I think I'm just saying that part of where this book is, part of where we are at in this journey, it's okay for us to lean in, and I'm saying this more to me than you.
Yep.
I think it's okay for us to lean in more and explore our faith.
Yes.
Intentionally, and not just leaning into it with, yay, we're going to talk Jesus movies and things like that, but how we navigate faith in this world. Faith and family and what that looks like and what that means.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm just kind of throwing out what we had originally intended for and embracing this.
Yeah, I find that exciting.
Well, I can't remember what you said your word was. I was going to try and use that since you used mine. Exciting. What was your word again?
Motivation.
Motivational. I find that motivational.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Did you... Yeah. So this is January 2nd that we're recording this. Did you stay up all night on New Year's Eve?
Heck no. No. I stayed up way too late. I did stay up till like 11 o'clock, and then I fell asleep, and I got a text from my mom and my sisters, and they texted me, and I woke up, and I stayed up way too late, but no, I didn't stay up all night. I'm not that person, for sure.
Yeah, I stayed up until 2 a.m., so I'm still a little loopy and sleep deprived, but...
Yeah.
Alright. I do think we're going to be returning to this book several times.
Yeah, because there's more that I would like to say, but I think it's just such a big conversation that I think it'd be cool to pick a topic from the book, like the unity of God. That was really cool. Like how close God actually is to us. Like, whoo, that's exciting, and it'll give more people a chance to read the book.
Right, and I would also like to get Melinda in on this conversation because the language that is the psychiatry and psychology is entirely out of my wheelhouse. But because of her being a counselor, she can speak to that. You had a friend who you wanted to get in on this as well. So I think we're going to be returning to this book.
Yeah.
This first episode is probably a good chance for us to have just overviewed and react to it. But we're coming back to it.
Yeah.
We're coming back to some of the themes. We're coming back to the questions and the exploring. And I think it's a good spot for us to start in the new year.
Yep, for sure.
Now, with that being said, it'll be a great book for us to explore in the year, but I get to pick the next book club book.
Oh, yes. What? Oh, my pen is in my hair. I found it. It was in my hair.
I'm going to give you two options.
Okay.
And depending on which option you pick will depend on which book I say. And I'm already reading the one, and I'm going to read the other soon. But, Lindsay.
Yes.
Would you like to explore some of the fundamentals of faith that we should have, and have a discussion that is what they are, what that looks like in our personal and individual lives, and how we'd live into and implement them?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you like to read a book that is a dissection of American culture and its influence on the church?
Ooh. That's a hard choice. What's your second book called? Because I might own that book. Is it by Michael Horton?
I don't think.
Okay, because I just got this interesting book about the church and American culture. But
which one did you get?
It's by Michael Horton. Hold on. Christless Christianity, The Alternative Gospel of the American Church by Michael Horton.
It came out in 2008. No, not that one.
Okay. What are the books? That way, that will help me decide better.
Nope. Topic.
Well, I kind of feel like the first book should be read first. You know, like in order to contrast the.
So you would like to have a discussion of what are the base Christian principles and foundations of what it is to be a Christian. That first choice?
Yeah,
or
but the second one sounds more exciting. But the first one seems necessary.
It does sound more exciting. And it is something that will be a little more reactionary.
Let's do the second one.
Really?
I don't know. I'm terrible at this game, Robert.
Alright. No, you chose. We're doing the second one.
Alright.
I want us to read, and everyone is, as always, is welcome to read. I would like us to read Jesus and John Wayne.
Cool. Who's that?
And that is by, I'm gonna probably butcher the name, so forgive me, Kristen Kobes Demez? Demez?
K-R-I?
D-U-M-E-Z. Yeah, K-R-I. Kristen Kobes Dumez? Oh.
Is Kobes a middle name, or is Kobes part of the last name?
I'm assuming it's probably a hyphenated last name.
Spell that part.
Alright, it is K-O-B-E-S, and then capital D, lowercase u, space, capital M-E-Z.
Cool. That
I
sounds
always
good.
feel horrible when I can't pronounce a person's name. I'm sorry. But Jesus and John Wayne. So it's going to be a little political. It's going to be a little dissectional and interesting.
Cool.
I have a feeling I won't agree with all of it, but I also have a feeling I won't hate all of it. So.
Oh. Oh.
Why are we saying oh?
Because I read the subtitle of the book, of the title.
Yep.
You
want to read the subtitle?
No, you read the subtitle.
Oh.
How
white evangelicals corrupted a faith and fractured a nation.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Oh.
I see.
It's gonna be interesting.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna get out of it. We might hate it. We might not. But it's gonna be something.
And we'll have that done for February.
Are we doing one a month now? We've gone away from one a quarter?
Well, remember what we talked about Goodreads?
Yeah.
So the whole thing with the Goodreads challenge is one a month. That's our club. That's our club.
Okay, so we're
challenge. But we can change it, and so that it's.
Well, no.
But we could. I'm just saying, like we could change it to one a quarter as long as we meet our goal. It doesn't really matter what the goal is as long as we meet the goal.
Hey, that's perfectly fine. I was just trying to figure out I knew the challenge that you and I had taken on were. What did we say? I'm doing 60. Did you decide on your final number?
So, I think the conversation got a little confusing because it was like we were talking about two different challenges. So,
right.
For all intents and purposes, as far as Goodreads, as far as our podcast goes, that's separate than the challenge that you make and I make for our personal reading. That has nothing to do with the 42 podcast.
Well, but I think there's value in us being open with where we're at in the challenge for us as individuals.
Yes. My challenge, I'm going to do 50 books again. Actually, darn it, I should do like 5 more so that way it's getting more every year. But I guess I'll do 55 because I did 50 last year and I met my goal, which was pretty cool.
Okay.
So our individual challenges are different than the 42 podcast. Our goal for the year could be one a month, or it could be, instead of 12 books, it could be 6. You know, we could do.
I'm okay with one a month, but okay. Sorry, I was just getting that clarified.
Yeah.
And then I said for my personal goal, I'm shooting for 60, which feels right around what I read. I think yearly. We'll find out.
Do you think that will be challenging for you? Or not really, because it's kind of what you read anyway?
I'm guessing that's what I read. Looking at the number of books I went through last year, I think I read right around 60. Might be a little over, might be a little under.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Might be drastically under, might be drastically over. I don't know.
So 60 is a good benchmark then.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 3 I'm reading right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, cool. I'm almost done Oliver Twist. That's what I'm reading right now. Yeah.
Well, fine. Technically, when we want to do that, I'm reading A Christmas Carol, but I wasn't counting that towards my...
Why not? Why wouldn't you count it?
Because it's short. It's not bad.
It's okay. You can count it. I say count it. I want as much credit as I can get. So...
Well, okay, so you're reading Oliver Twist right now.
Yes. And I'm reading a book called The Case Against Sugar by Gary Taubes, too, because I need motivation in my life.
Yeah, I gotta get back on that. I am reading Jesus and the Disinherited and Mere Christianity.
Cool.
I'm also I need to pick it up again because my son wants to watch the movie and read the book. And it's American Sniper, I think it's...
Yeah. Cool. By, yes, I know that book here today. Chris something.
American Sniper by Chris Kyle. I got through the first half of the first chapter, so...
Well, that's something.
Yeah.
I think...
And I am technically counting... I'm counting what I started reading over Christmas break.
You
In
can't.
the new year.
Well, you can't count it if you finished it already.
I haven't finished it.
Okay.
I started reading it
You
over
started.
break.
Okay. That's fine. If you have it open on January 1st, then you can count it for this year. Yeah.
Those are the 3 books that are open that I have been reading.
Cool. Good for you. I wish I could read more than one at a time, but I can really only read like 2 at a time. And that's only because like one is fiction and one is not fiction, so.
Yeah, I'll knock out Mere Christianity again before I pick up Jesus and the Disinherited.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can normally do the fiction, non-fiction, so 3's a stretch.
Yeah.
And I'll probably knock out A Christmas Carol before I pick up American Sniper again.
I'm kind of thinking we need to do a diet health episode again soon.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
Because we need motivation. Let's get it. Let's have a goal.
Oh.
Like, let's run a 5K
Okay.
this fall or late summer. Let's do something. Let's have a goal to I'm just saying, I think talking about it is good. Even if we talk about how much we suck, talking about it is good. Because we can share
really suck.
resources.
Yeah, and I know I need to get back to it. I do.
I know, I haven't been doing anything since Halloween. So, I'm trying. I need to...
Well, that's better than me.
Well,
With the stress of buying the house, I tanked out of my diet in June and haven't been back.
oh, really? yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
So shortly after that episode where we're like, yay, we lost weight and are skinnier, I was like, yeah, great.
We're getting there.
Whatever.
You're gonna climb out of there. We'll do it. We'll inspire each other and egg each other on. We can do this. Let's do a health episode soon.
Yeah. Well, give me a month to get my head screwed back on.
I know.
We'll talk about that in February. How about that?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Because that'll be good, because I'm assuming you've made resolutions or the motivation of New Year, back to it.
Yeah.
So if we look and say February, we'll talk again, we'll revisit this. It's, okay, I gotta at least keep it up through January, so it's not just a, yay, I thought about it
Empty
for a
talk.
month, but...
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
if we do it in February, it gives us that accountability looming.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You're such a... And maybe we need to have another one in 6 months from then. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what we had initially planned, and then, yeah. Life.
Yep. All right.
So, all right.
I'm gonna go, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Go rest your bee-stung foot.
Yeah. I've pulled through, though. I think I'm on the other side of the Benadryl fog. I did pretty good. I did a lot better than I thought I was gonna do. I was much more coherent.
I take Benadryl. I'm high as a kite for the day. Forget it.
I sleptwalked like 3 times last night. I took 2 Benadryl before I went to bed because my foot was bothering me so bad. And I sleptwalked. I dreamt I was baking a cake, and like I was balancing the cake in my hands, and I half wake up thinking that I'm dropping the cake. So I'm frozen in bed trying not to drop a cake. So I like keep my hand balanced where I think the cake is, and I like put the light on with my other hand. And there's Colby's face, not a cake. So that was... It depends on the circumstances, but it was pleasant under the circumstances that I saw his face instead of a cake. I ended up in the closet with a laundry basket another time. I just, dreams and Benadryl are weird.
Yes. Okay, and that's just one more argument for why Colby should be a saint.
He should! He should.
I mean, his perspective is he probably woke up with you looming over him with a pillow, thinking it was a cake.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm about to die. Oh, she thinks it's a cake. She's trying to feed me. Ah.
We could tell stories, sleepwalking stories. We have tons of them, and yeah.
All right. Well, go walk it off, would you?
It was good talking to you.
You too, Lindsay. All right.
Talk to you later.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for listening to the 42 podcast. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. And if you want to join in on the conversation, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter to add your voice to the conversation. Thank you.